Ready to go? Hello. Welcome, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Consideration for approval of the minutes. So moved. Ray and Don. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried unanimous. Consideration for consent items 5A, B, C, D, and any questions?
So moved.
Donnie?
Second.
Paul, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. Okay, we're on to new business, library landscape project. Bam. What Ray's over gonna do?
I can talk about that right here. We have one quote that you have attached in the council packet. I tried to reach Brett Curry here today with that one quote. He was the only contractor locally that was able to do it this year, at least until either early this spring or summer. No one else was able to do it until at least fall. I think we should reach out to Brett to see if he's able to do just the back only, as I would caution against upon further review with the street project going on and increased traffic on Second Avenue South. I would caution against doing that until either later this fall or postpone that altogether until 2018. Because when we have to dig over on the side for that retaining wall, it's going to be increased traffic congestion with our dump truck, and we have semis going down that road the way it is right now. And to have that being held up for another week and a half or 2 weeks might be a little bit difficult.
What, the redoing the concrete in the back, what's the configuration problem back there now?
Right now, the sidewalk is sort of sloped a little bit towards the building and not away, and if we have some water leaking into the back, into the basement.
And
where-
build that up,
Yeah,
level it up?
build that up, slope it away from the building.
Redo it so it slopes away, plus there's a pit in back that maybe we could put a sump pump in.
Who designed that in the first place?
Warner Rosine Associates in
The
about
slope,
2000.
the slope towards the building?
A little bit, yes.
It's a little like the plumber puts a drain in, it's in the
Probably
highway.
the same guy that did the hospital?
No, different.
The old hospital, excuse me.
Yeah, different engineering.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any problem with it if we did part in the spring and part in the fall, Ray?
No, actually, I came to Sam and
Good, okay.
discussed it because I saw the semis turning there by coming on off of by Schritz Bakery on the Second Avenue. I saw so many cars just about get smucked, and if
Yep.
we take all that parking away, and while we're doing the construction and having all the congestion there, I'm worried it's going to be an accident waiting to happen.
Be a disservice to our community.
I think we wait until.
Excuse me.
Okay. Right, Steve, can we approve this, subject to Sam or staff visiting with Brett Curry, who's part of it in the spring and part of the fall?
Yes, because it's below the $25,000.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
You're gonna check with him, see if what if he gets a big, is he gonna be able to do it this fall? Or is that what you're gonna discuss with him?
That would be upon our discussion. Because we're not sure if he said that he could do it either the second and third week of April, or it would be late this fall, and that was a question mark. He wasn't positive we could get it done this fall yet.
Well, we were hoping they could do the back part in the spring, so we don't have all the water running in the basement through the summer. But the approval would be subject to Brett Curry agreeing to do that.
So move.
Don, thank you.
Second.
Ray, any further discussion? Anything else on that? Okay. Anything else on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. 13B, bids for water department truck, Mark.
A few weeks ago, you gave us permission to go up for, look for a new or used truck. We went off the state bid, worked with Chuck Spade and Board. We do not need to get, bids on that. I believe in your packet, it shows, what they came up with. We did look for used ones. It was a 2013, with 42,000 miles on it. basically, going by what that is that we could find, it's almost cheaper to go with a new truck. And then also, we're also requesting to put a service body on this truck installed. And also to look at a V-plow installed for the prices that are, I've shown.
You,
Used V-plow, correct.
so the new is actually $650 less than a used one would have been.
Correct. So it comes up to 2209 plus the service body and the used V-plow.
And we're under our budget.
Correct.
It's a budgeted item that's under what we had in the budget.
Is the used pickup price, we're bidding against the state price with a trade-in? Is there a trade-in figured on that used pickup price?
No, it's not.
What are they giving you on the state bid? How do they figure a trade-in option?
It's what they come up with. Jason
What
actually
they
did the
give
work
us on
with
trade-in?
Pardon me?
What,
Seven.
7,000?
7,000, yeah. That's with the plow.
Well, in actuality, you're talking basically a used pickup, almost the same price as the state bid one then, straight out. You take off $7,000 for
Correct.
trade-in.
We're just basically asking for permission to go ahead and proceed with this option with the service body and the used V-plow.
I'll move to approve.
Don, how would you?
Second.
Don, any further discussion? Anything you want to add?
No.
How far are they out on it?
It'll be, what,
8 to 12 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks?
Okay, 2, 3 months, okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried unanimous, thanks, Mark. Lake Department, TJ.
We went out for bids on replacing our big bucket truck, and Altech was a little bidder, but so they 180, Sam,
183,440,
and Terex was 187.
187,272,
So
and that did not include a trade-in price.
Altech will broker our truck for us. He came and took pictures the other day and everything, and they have their own company. And yeah, so.
So we have, I should back up, the budget committee met last week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday last week, and we reviewed the capital equipment accounts, the proposed expenses for, proposed purchases for 2017, and with the proposed purchases that the budget committee approved, we would still have about $225,000 in our capital equipment account as of 12/31/17. And so we have one more vehicle, I think it's a police car in for 2017. And so based on 225, if this bid came in 40-some thousand dollars under, so that would make the 225 about 275 or 280. And you think we can sell our existing one for 10 approximately?
Yeah, that was the number he gave, just shooting from the hip the other day, so.
So we should have on hand then on December 31st, 17, around $285,000 in the capital equipment fund as of 12/31/17 with the proposed purchases for 17 and our transfer that we have, that we do in December.
Correct.
Alright, I forgot, I just wanted to tell you that we met last week for that, so everybody in council knew. So then TJ, you're looking for to accept the low bid?
Yep.
And how far are they out?
They would put it into a early June build, I believe, early to mid-June, and I think we would see the truck in July, end of July probably.
We keep our existing one to the one came, then you'll put
We can
that on.
transfer everything over, they won't take anything or do anything with it until we say it's yours.
And you'll have a list of who has an interest in it from
Yep, and
these
then
people that you can contact.
I've given all those contacts to the salesman from Altex, so he can broker and deal with them.
And Steve, if we did that when we sold that, the new one came, we just put it off for bids
Yeah,
or
that's
quotes
fine.
and get it? Okay, very good, okay, all right. Okay, council wishes. Motion by Ray.
Second.
Paul, any further discussion? Anything you want to add? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. Thanks, TJ. Okay, 13D water rates for, Mark, I'm sorry.
A little over a year ago, we had a rate study
Here's the handout.
done by Missouri River Energy. They took into consideration, what we were, charging now, what we should charge for the future. And they came up with this rate study, and basically we're following the rate study to, go forward with that.
Would it be possible sometime to get, or do you know off the top of your head, total gallons used in residential
Yes,
versus the commercial?
commercial, industrial, we keep track of all three.
Okay, do you know off the top of your head, just ballpark? Who uses the most?
Residential and industrial are fairly close. I would say, residential is I'd say residential is about 45%. And then between commercial is about 25% then, and then industrial, depending on how you look at it, would be the rest.
I think he's around 35, 30 or 35.
Correct. So they've gone into water conservation, they have done a considerable amount of less water usage.
And based on our requirement with our PFA loan, we have to have 105% of revenue versus expenses. So we stay in compliance with our PFA loan, so they don't call it. That's part of the agreement we signed.
And the resolution would show that it's for the meters read in June, billable in August.
And Dave, all departments, just so everyone knows, Sam and the department heads will be meeting with their industries prior to this going into effect to give them all the information, the rate study and everything, so we know that, right? Mark?
Correct.
So this is in resolution form. If you have any other questions that you have, take your time going through.
We're still one of the lowest in the area though with these, right? Julie?
We are probably in the bottom third.
It's quite high.
For water,
Correct. We might be up a little bit higher than we were prior, but we're still below half, well below half.
I think so. The last study we had showed, or the last information we got showed us like in the top third. It's other communities have increases.
That was the
15.
previous, yes. And the new one that came out, when I looked through it, we were closer to that, right in the middle.
Because I think we were second highest at the last time we increased our water rates. Third highest?
Well, this one's second highest.
It would be second highest, yeah.
2016, we were the second highest.
Second highest,
Okay,
so that would be based on 15 marks, so you're looking at what's in 17.
correct.
Okay, all right. That's good to know.
So
you
the
still-
surrounding communities are doing the same thing.
So did you say we're still about in the middle?
We're about in the middle.
If you've got, is that easy, accessible, what you looked at, where you found?
It should be back at the water plant.
Okay, if you could, maybe for next meeting, if you could get some of that out and put it in the packet, would be good for the
Sure.
council members to have to show where we're at.
Correct.
So like 7 or 9 communities, last time I think it was 7.
They did several different studies. We go by just Minnesota, and they also go by the surrounding states.
Very good, okay, or same size sewer communities.
Somewhat, yeah, whoever responds.
Okay, very good. if you can get that, I think that'd be beneficial for all the council to,
Correct.
see.
Okay.
You can get that significant. Okay. For next packet, okay. Any other
And again,
questions?
these rates are basically to keep us in compliance with the PFA.
With our PFA loan, yes, we have to be 105% of revenue versus, that's correct. That was a 20-year loan at 1.9 or 99%, I can't remember, it's less than 2% fixed rate from the public facilities authority. Yes. Any other questions?
So move, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
Brady? Any other discussion? No questions? Anyone add?
No.
All in favor, signify by show of hands. Opposed? Resolution passes 5-0, unanimous. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Let me see, 13E sewer rates. Mark Anderson.
We also had a rate study done last year, and basically the same kind of guidelines the water department had to, we have to maintain 1.5%, so. We, as you can see, I don't know if you all have the packet,
These are the mic.
you guys all have the packet? And you can see the highlighted yellow, that is what the proposed amount is. The 2016 is where we are currently at. So, as you can see, that is the recommended increases that we had that Bolton and Mink did our rate study a year ago. And that is the schedule through 2021 there also.
So you have a significant increase on the first part to get us within where we should be in 2012, 13, 14, 15, excuse me.
Yeah, that is correct.
And then they're reasonably, I think 3% or less forward to 18 to 22, 21,
3% to 21.
to 21. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the first 2 years were a significant increase, but they spread it out over 2 years, so we would not see that all in one giant increase. And then, as you see, next year, it kind of plateaus out.
And the backup information is typically we do improvements for our water and sewer in incremental, what's the word I'm looking for? Incremental parts at a time, like a lot lower amounts with the State Highway 4 because of the State Highway project of $70 million. The bond was $4 or $5 million, I think 5 something last fall when we approved interim when it comes. So we typically would certainly not do this kind of a number of improvements in such a short period of time. But we have no alternative because of the State Highway project that's going through, and we have to do the infrastructure under it now instead of $300,000 or $500,000, $300,000 a year for 7 or 8 years. We have to do it now when they have it open. So we don't have a choice in that, as we don't on the storm sewer from the lake to fire because it was collapsing. So you add those together, it's substantial effect. So that's why you're seeing more substantial increase now to try and get us up there and then level it off at 3% going forward. Just some background information so folks can better understand the reason for the increases.
How often have we done a rate study?
What's that?
How often have we done rate study?
I don't remember when we did it. I would guess 2012, but I don't remember. And I think that might have only been electric.
I know we did electric in the recent past. I don't know.
Past after 2010, 2012. I think sewer and water, when we did the new plant was 1990, when we overhauled it when was that? What year did we do that?
2001.
Water plant?
Yep, that's when they rehab.
So it would have been sometime after that, probably not much after that. When did we do the waste treatment?
2010.
Yes, so we've been prior, we've done that, so it's 7 years old. Got a minimum, and probably more.
So should we be scheduling these?
Typically, rate studies are done no more frequent than every 5 years or when you have a big project going on. When you have your debt services coming in to factor in.
So electric, we did not need answer for the sewer and water, we should have done back in 2012. I think we did elect it because I think Missouri River allowed us at a very inexpensive cost because we, Missouri River Energy Services, very, it even paid for half of it, I think that's what we did study from, that makes sense.
I think it was 12.
And they agreed to pay half, that's how we did it then. And now this is moving 4 or 5 years later based on current rates.
So we'll discuss the reading.
None,
Second dispense the reading.
no, any further discussion or anything you wanna add, Mark?
No.
Okay. All in favor signify by show of hands. Opposed, resolution passes 5-0 unanimous. Again, you along with Sam and Mark to visit with Smithfield Foods and any other industry so that they know exactly what's going on and why and how we're doing this. You'll get that coordinated. You have called already?
Yes, we get
Very good. So you seem to. Thanks, Mark. 13F, change in ambulance rates, JD.
I believe what you have in front of you is,
Mike.
the request for what we wanna go for base rates and mileage. Approximately 2 weeks ago, I talked to our billing company, and it was about a different issue, and when I talked to him, I asked him where we stood on the spectrum, he said on the low end. He cannot tell us what to charge because that would be price fixing. So I threw out a number going from $17 to $25 per loaded mile. He said, you're right in the medium. Same with the base rates. We're approximately in the middle of the area there.
Do you remember the last time we adjusted the ambulance rates, how many years ago it is? I can't remember exactly, but
I believe it was, part of it was last year, but not loaded miles. And
not low miles, yeah, that,
Right,
yeah, I think it was just in
and
town
that's
on
where
the
we were
on
very,
that comes on insurance, no?
I think your figures on there probably show a total increase in revenue of $63,760. According to the billing company, that would pick up part of what Medicare, medical assistance, and whatever else doesn't.
Because we are Medicare approved, so you have to take what Medicare gives us.
Exactly.
We don't have a choice.
I got some questions here on your classifications here. Now, when you go DOA, $100, and you have non-emergency DOA to a funeral home, we're doing $150. Is there a reason for the difference there?
Actually, those two should be the same, 100. We very rarely ever transport a DOA, and we very rarely help the funeral home out. I think we only have on one occasion.
Okay, but it's got listed here, 150 to a funeral home, so.
Okay.
Multiple patients, so, well, how, you get what, 2 in an ambulance at one time?
We get more, but 2 is,
Do you have more, how many do you have in there one time?
actually at one time we had 4 and 4,
Are they all on gurneys?
yes, they had to be. But they were, it was packed, it was a car accident in the middle of a snowstorm.
And
We had both of our rates
so
out.
you're making one run and you're charging each one of them the full amount.
Exactly.
Okay, and then what is a no transplant?
No transport.
Transfer, yeah, transport.
Okay, it's when somebody's button goes off, or somebody says that somebody needs an ambulance, and we get there and find out that it's a false alarm.
Who do you charge? Person that called or?
It depends on. There are sometimes when that's waived, because if it's out to like Frank Ridge or whatever, it's done, we respond, but we don't get completely there, so there's probably no name that we can charge.
We have a fee, but you can't charge anybody.
Well, we
I
do,
mean, if somebody
if we
calls
get there,
and nobody, you go there and there's nobody to pick up, or the person that you're supposedly supposed to pick up says, oh, I didn't call you. So
exactly,
nobody's gonna get billed.
that has happened.
Okay. And where in non-emergency, where hospice transfer, where are we transferring from, where to where?
Generally, we transfer them from the home
Residents to hospice.
to the hospice.
Now, we got hospital to hospital, I'm assuming it'd be, say, St. James to Mankato or some Rochester, whatever. If we're transferring, we're charging $200 for a hospice transfer from a residence to, if this hospice situation isn't here in town for send if they have to go to Mankato, wouldn't you be charging more along the line as you go hospital to hospital?
Yes, we would go more that direction.
For the 550,
And then when you say our billing people are telling us that this is a suggestion, they're not telling us what to charge, but they're saying we're on the low end or whatever, we should be charging more. Well, wouldn't it be more, at the end of the year, you look at your total operating costs, your runs of what you've used in medication or supplies or something, then we work out the costs and having somebody tell us, well, you're on the low end? I mean,
Virtually are you talking about the product now?
what, I'm just talking about overall. You have an operating, you have a budget, I assume, you look at the end of the year, okay, this is how many runs we made, type of runs, and you've got your charges there. Couldn't you sit down and look at that total and then, okay, this is what we have to charge instead of having some second party?
We might much a lot of this increase in rates for the ambulances, a spike in lost revenue due to Medicare only.
That's my next.
And
avenue.
that's a
We're
lot of
passing
the-
this on then to people that have insurance that are paying. That'll end one of these days, then what are we gonna do? You know, I mean, I still say that you sit down and look at the overall, your operating expenses, your runs, the type of runs, your supplies, everything. Okay,
income expenditure.
yeah, I mean, why are we going by somebody that's doing our bookwork for us?
Because they're representing 300 to 400 services.
I understand that, but if that's the way it just seems to me, operating the ambulance is like running a business.
It
Yeah, okay, so we look at the total runs during the year, our supplies, type of runs, mileage and stuff like that, then we should be able to sit down and figure out something.
Okay, I did present those figures to Sam as to what we actually charge versus what we have received and what the write-offs were
For Medicare.
from Medicare.
So this resolution is kind of a result of your annual review.
It is.
And I don't know off the top of my head, you're probably not going to either, our budget for 2017, what we showed, I don't know, did you help? Yeah. What we showed income and expense, what we projected income and expense for 17, if 16 showed us in the red or not, and if 17 is showing us in the red or in the black.
I don't have those figures with
I
me.
understand, so,
I can bring that up to you if you'd like.
okay, so would you like to see them before you decide on this?
No.
Okay, I mean, we can,
I just think we look at these like, you know, if DOA and DOA to a funeral home ought to be the same, well, then let's list it as the same.
we should make it say, yep.
We can get that in the resolution.
And then I would think you would have a variable on your hospice transfer too, if you're going out of town.
There are occasions when we have to take them further,
In town versus out of town.
yes.
JD, we talked one time, you and I, about loaded miles going somewhere but then coming back empty.
That's right.
Does this address that?
Exactly, it's not legal to charge for an unloaded mile. So when the total is off, we get to the residence, the mileage starts there. And then it continues on until we get to the hospital. And then we're about a mile from the hospital to get back to the garage, so that's deducted also.
Okay, but what about if you transport to say Mankato or Rochester, wherever, and does this cover what it should as far as mileage? And then obviously when you're coming back, you're not loaded, so
Exactly.
does this does this address and cover,
It should,
The entire area.
with the,
Yeah.
increase it will.
okay,
We figure Mankato, most of the time it's about 80 or 81 miles. And so the patient is charged, probably for about 40 miles. And then it's like deadheading that.
So that's all, the return trip is built into the cost of the run, the 550.
Exactly. That's why we're asking for an increase so that the people are getting paid yet.
Now, you can't, I mean, you're charging a patient a chargeable one way, you can't charge them for bringing the ambulance back empty. That's built, that cost of coming back empty is built into your
Initial cost.
destination charge.
Mhm.
Council wishes, would you like to pass this, or would you like to see 15 and 16 income and expenses before you do this and have them change the DOA to funeral home to match DOA? What's the other thing that one? Oh, and hospice transfer, in town and out of town.
If they know they're gonna make those changes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, so.
Council wishes?
Some will dispense with the reading,
With the two changes, done.
with the two changes.
Very good. Al Albertson, Paul,
Dispense with the reading.
two changes.
Yes.
We would, any further discussion? We'd still like to, and I don't know if it's JD or Sam, but Sam more than JD, get us the income expenses for 15 and 16, so we know where we were at, starting with Blackburn and Red, where you, maybe how many runs, and we had extraordinary year last year. To date this year, that would be good to have,
Okay.
to know if that's okay.
Does Medicare change their rates annually, or do they do it every 2 years, or?
I'm not sure about that, Don. I do the actual billing of what we, like the mileage and that, and what supplies we use. But as far as what we get in return, I don't see those figures.
Does that, do you guys at the office,
They-
are you notified if there's a change, or does that come after you submit a claim?
Neil hasn't given me any changes on anything. I've only been doing this since July, so I don't know if it's on an annual basis or not, but I certainly can reach out to him and find out what he's done in the past. So we know going forward.
Either one, goes over.
Yeah, I take them from JD and submit them to Metro Bill and work with Neil.
Good company.
Neil's done great. It's fantastic.
Good. Anything else you want to add, JD? All in favor, signify by show of hands. Opposed, resolution passes 5-0 unanimous. Thank you, JD and your department, for everything, and we'll get this stuff for next meeting. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Don,
I talked to Sam about a couple different situations with the routing, and I see they must have taken care of the one down by the county office there, because there was no vehicle parked there. Has something been done there?
you mean by Human Services?
Yeah.
Not yet. I think they're meeting tomorrow, right, Reed? You got a pre-con meeting tomorrow that you're gonna discuss what street is that, eh? 8th Street for no parking on the.
What do you think the best option there is? No parking on the west side, or no parking at all? I know county uses that.
We'll have to use no parking on the west or the east side, and then we're gonna have to remove that one tree branch.
How about that angle parking there in the corner?
That's a tough one.
If they pull up all the way, it's not a problem. They don't stick out any further than a parked car.
Okay.
But we have them every once in a while that don't pull up there all the way. That's,
I think there's 2 signs there that says pull up there. doesn't
yeah,
it?
there is, but
But if somebody could get a memo to them, to make sure they pull up to the curb, that would be beneficial.
And then I called Sam the other day to ask, I didn't know in the plans where I looked at it, that there was any type of, looking at an access to the VFW or the city parking lot from the east. I was always under the impression everything was gonna come from the west, and then you'd have to turn around and go back. But there's traffic flow through there. They had it coned off. And the only problem is, if they were looking at that, I asked Sam if they were looking at that as a throughway to go through the parking lots over to the Boston parking lot. it won't work if all those parking places, you can't get through. Well, I went through there tonight and they've got that narrowed down to one lane now. So I came around, hit the stop sign, started to take the corner, here come a truck with a trailer. Well, I had to back up, there was some lady behind me, she had to back up because there was only one lane of traffic. You know, are they gonna use that just as an access to the parking lot, or are you gonna be able to go all the way through?
Not sure yet, we'll talk about it tomorrow at the 10 o'clock meeting with them, so.
Because they'll have to cone off some
Yes.
to go through, okay.
And you think maybe you can move that road closed sign another 50 or 75 feet so they could get to that second access, or not? That's not possible.
We'll talk to the contractor.
And the other thing you're gonna talk to them about tomorrow is the alley that goes one
Yes.
way. Rick, you guys didn't talk to?
Yep.
To try and get a two-way alley that we talked about this
Behind
morning.
by the elevator.
Yes.
Okay.
We've already talked to the elevator already, so.
Are they online, on board on that?
I think so. I think we've got it. We'll have to make them some concessions, but.
Yeah.
Cause that would really help if you went in that parking lot, VFW and the city parking lot, and you lived on the east side. You have to go out and drive all the way around to get, you know, across, so it opened that up quite a bit.
Yeah, we want to fix that.
And we had a couple calls, so they're gonna do more patrolling on 10th Avenue South and on Weston Avenue because of the speed of the traffic, to slow it down. Because
I just throw nails.
kids are- Yeah, if you throw nails. I'll do that too. Anything else?
No.
Done?
No.
Steve? Thanks.
We're going through our audit this week, today, tomorrow, Thursday, so. We're busy with that. Fun.
We ask for everyone's patience and understanding, this is a 2-year project and there's gonna be a lot of headaches as we go through it, we're gonna do the best we can, to address it. It's a state project, but we will continue to do our best, so please, be patient with us, but tell us if there's something is wrong, we'll certainly try and fix it. Good. Oh, Honey,
I did have someone call me, concerned about, obviously, all the traffic going in the viaduct right now, and they live in the area on top of the hill. And, it's kind of fast, as she would call it. So, I told her I'd let you know that maybe you could monitor it a little bit there. Okay, and then, on Second Avenue, 800 block, it's just a block down from the county going east, on the east side. It's narrow anyway, and it's one-sided parking. And obviously, there's a lot of people who are gonna shoot straight down Second Avenue to go down to town, rather than going down the side street by the Human Services Building. Can we take a peek at that, watch it, and to see if we needed to do a no parking on both sides of that, just for the fact that there's probably 20 times the traffic as it used to be. The 800 block is narrower than the 900 block. And so there's a lot more traffic right there. And the residents who live there were concerned about the more traffic parking on one side, maybe not even have parking at all during the construction time because of all of the traffic that's going that direction.
But if the residents on either side would have to come home that live there, then they would have to go park in the alley if that was an opportunity, because they couldn't park on either side of the street.
Possibly, all of the people who live on the 800 block either side have access through their alley, and most of them do park in the back or have a driveway right there.
I would think, they want to know.
I don't know, just watching it, just watching it.
That we want to get funny notice.
Just talk about that one block.
And have an issue with it. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it, thanks.
Okay, very good, great. Katie, Brent, Jason, Mark, Raymond. Mark.
Just a friendly reminder, we are flushing hydrants on the south side of town this week. During this construction, with our hydrant flushing, there will be a lot of extra rusty water through town that we will not be able to get out of. Bear with us, we will work diligently to clear it up as fast as we can. Also, next week, we will be flushing the north side of town.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll be tweaking the access route. I think I think we can address your issue. I think if we open up A Street so it looks inviting to turn north, I think that'll help. Well, we're gonna work on it tomorrow.
Anything else, Rick? Anything else, Rick?
No.
TJ? Linda?
The movie for the next 2 weekends will be Beauty and the Beast. It's rated PG.
Bill? Amanda? Very good. Motion to adjourn? All in Larry, thanks for attending, have a great night.